Hey everybody, Brandy here doing my comments from my Stampin' Studio today. Today I'm taking part in the Heart and Floral blog hop, video hop that Monica Monge Taylor is hosting. And you're going to see a card project that I made a couple of weeks ago, and it's going to go live today on February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. This blog hop is going to go through Thursday, February 20th, and there are going to be some giveaways given. So stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to explain all the details of the hop and how you can enter to win. The other thing I want to mention is that this video references a stencil that I created using Oramask. I didn't include this part in the video today, but I will put a link down below in the description box or on the blog post wherever you're watching this video on how you can go and check that out. So today I basically am just focusing on how to put the card together. I didn't focus on how to create the stencil, but that's certainly something that you might want to consider. So hop on over and watch that video or go to that blog post. If you want to use just a regular old stencil that you have that has hearts, you can substitute that as well, or you can create your own. I'm going to be posting links to all of this on the description box below, and stick around to the end of the video and I'll explain more about the blog hop. All right, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is color our cardstock. Unless you have a red cardstock that you like, you could also use that as well. I decided to use the Distressed Oxide Festive Berries here. I'm just going to put a little of that ink down on my Tim Holtz glass media mat. It's my favorite way to ink up cardstock because you're able to kind of transfer that ink right onto the card and it goes on pretty smoothly. So I'm just going to, prepare my cardstock with that color. You can skip this step if you already have a colored cardstock, but I didn't have one that I liked as well, and it wasn't the right shade of red, so I decided to go ahead and use this and just basically color it myself. And then I'm going to get ready for applying the stencil. So I'm just going to speed up the video here, and then we will see how it works. So now that we have the card all colored, I want to prepare the paper by putting some more of that anti-static powder, using my tool there, getting it nice and coated. And then I'm going to put that stencil on there, and I'm going to do it at an angle. This is kind of the look I was going for with this card. So I carefully place that down. Now I don't want to press too hard because I don't want it to really stick to the back to that paper, but I am going to kind of lightly push it down, and then I'm going to pull back that transfer sheet. And because there were a couple of pieces that had not adhered down, so I went ahead and laid it back down. And we're going to pull back that transfer sheet. And because that stencil material is adhesive, I don't actually even have to do anything to keep the paper down, because the stencil basically holds the paper down on itself. Alright, so now I've got a couple of exposed corners there, and I am just using some post-it notes because I don't want to get any glitter paste on those corners, and because then you'll definitely be able to tell that it was a stencil. And I am just sort of wedging it underneath the stencil and letting that stencil hold it down. So that's what I'm doing there. And then we're going to use the Nouveau, I believe this is the Red Garnet glitter paste, and I'm just going to spread some down there with my spatula and just get a really nice thick coating of it. I'm going to fast forward this part for you so you don't have to sit here and watch me do it all, but it's just getting the glitter is down as thick as you can, and just kind of evenly spreading it about. Now it's time to peel back the stencil and see the design that we have created. So I'm just going to lift up the stencil material and carefully pull that back. I've got one finger on the card so it doesn't move while I pull back the stencil. And look at that. We've got our repeating pattern of hearts there. It looks so cute. And now I want to store that stencil so I can reuse it. And there you go. There's the hearts. There's the background. So I'm just going to lay that stencil down on the transfer sheet that it came on. And I'll put the I'm sorry, not the transfer sheet, the backing, and then I'll put the transfer sheet on top of it. Clean my surface, and then I'm just going to show you how I reused that stencil over and over again. So I've just got a little fast forward action going on here. I believe I used the stencil probably 7 or 8 times before it got too mucky, and then I just had to throw it away. But I was able to create this these backgrounds for my card swap, and it was a nice alternative to using my really nice stencils that I have bought, because this stuff is really messy, and although I love the look of it on my cards, it's sometimes a little bit difficult to clean up. Alright, so right here what I'm doing is I'm measuring about 4 1/8 or 4 1/4 down on the card on the long side, and I'm going to do this on both sides of the card. This is going to help give me a guide as to where I'm going to put the scalloped stitched edge there. That's a My Favorite Things die, and I'm doing this because I'm creating several different cards of the same design, and I kind of want them all to look the same. You certainly didn't have to do that with this card if you're just making a one-off, you know, just sort of eyeballing it, but I wanted them to all look the same, so I decided to put that little tick mark there on the edge and line up my dies approximately the same space on all of the cards. So just going to put some purple craft tape there and go send that through the Big Shot. Alright, now that it has come through the Big Shot, we're going to pull back the bottom piece, and what we're left is this beautiful little scalloped stitched edge. I just think that it creates a really nice finished look, particularly with this stenciled card that I've made here. Alright, and I apologize for the in and out zooming action. I use a webcam, and I still haven't figured out how to make it stop doing that, so I apologize if if you're getting a little seasick there. Now sometimes the glimmer paste kind of goes over the edge of the paper, so I was just trimming off a very sliver of it so I could get like a straight edge, and that way I can line it right up against that black background. That black background is measured at 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and so I'm just going to use some of the Lawn Fawn glue tube here. And I love this glue because it's wet. I'm able to position it even after I've laid it down. It gives me a couple of seconds to do that, and when I'm trying to line up things very accurately, like the edge of this black cardstock, I love that that glue allows me to do that. The next part of the card, I actually used a word die with a outline, and this is from Pinkfresh. It's called Hello Word Die, and it's actually made exclusively for scrapbook.com. I went ahead and die cutted 3 of the 3 cardstocks of the word, and sort of layered them up to kind of give it some dimension, and then I cut the outline in vellum. And I'm going to use the Lawn Fawn glue to adhere the letters to the vellum. And again, love the clear glue here. It allows me to move it a little bit once I get it on that vellum, and it also does not take very much. You can put little tiny dots in there and it does hold strong. So I've got all of those letters, and they're not connected, so they do come in 3 pieces. The H is one piece, the ELL is another, and then the O is another one. But I really liked how that looks. So, all right, so right here I am, well, I feel like you are too. I'm going to be embossing the sentiment I'm Yours, which comes from the XOXO sentiments stamps from scrapbook.com, and I'm using some black cardstock, putting down some of that embossing tool powder, and I'm going to use some VersaMark to ink up the sentiment, and then I'm going to emboss it with white embossing powder. So just using my Misty to line up and get a perfect stamp. I just love using my Misty. It was really a game changer for me. I used to waste a lot of paper not getting a perfect image stamped, and I just love the Misty for this purpose. Once the stamp has been stamped with the VersaMark, you're going to want to put some white embossing powder on there, which I'm doing here. I'm just doing that over a sheet of folded paper, and then I'm going to tap off the excess, and then I'm going to run that through the heat gun to set that. That stamp is actually from the XO stamp set from scrapbook.com. And I didn't get this part on video, but I cut out the I'm Yours sentiment with the My Favorite Thing slanted sentiment die, and then I popped it up with some of the new double-sided foam adhesive that scrapbook.com has come out, and they've got some larger squares, which is what I use to pop the sentiment up. And then you can see up to the right I've got the hello die cut, word die cut cut out, and I've got some of the tiny squares that scrapbook.com has got with the double-sided adhesive. I just basically cut those down to hide behind the letters. I'm using some Tombow Extreme Glue Runner to put this card base onto, or the card front onto the card base. I like it because it's very strong. Used to be a Stampin' Up product called Fast Fuse. It's actually a Tombow product. Stampin' Up no longer sells it, but I still have my Fast Fuse case. Then I just use some of those scrapbook.com's square dots to place the hello and pop that up off the page. Lastly, I'm going to be using some embellishments from Honeybee Stamps. This is called their Silver Lights, and they're basically sequins without the hole in the middle. And I love this color, particularly with this black and red theme here. I'm using a jewel stick to pick the jewels up, and I'm just going to place them in the different areas on the card. I like to do this first to kind of get an idea of where I want to place things before I actually glue them down. And then I'm going to use the Lawn Fawn glue tube to place just a tiny little dot of glue down, and then use that jewel stick to lay down the jewels or the embellishments where I want them. Alright, well, I hope this video was helpful for you, and I hope that I have inspired you to create your own background stencil using your Cricut machine or your Silhouette Studio. The ideas and the possibilities are endless when it comes to using your Cricut machine in your paper crafts. Now, if you decide to create your card like this, please, please do join my Stamp Me Some Love Stampers Facebook group. I will post a link down below where you can join for free, and I would love to see your own creations using this design. As I promised, I will put a link down below also where you can download the SVG file that I created, this heart background, and you can use it for free. Just my gift to you. Now, I've got a couple of other announcements to make, and I want to make sure that you all know about our Card Makers Card Swap. We have a theme every month, and I'm going to post a link down below also where you can join that group. If you wouldn't mind, do me a huge favor, and please do give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. This helps me out tremendously with my YouTube channel here, and it helps support my blog, and I really do appreciate it. Alright, thank you so much for watching the video on how I put together this repeating heart background card. As promised, there is going to be some giveaways given away in association with this blog hop or video hop. What you'll need to do is to go down below in the description or in the blog post. There'll be a list of links that you'll need to go and visit all of the crafters who have gotten together to put this hop together. And make sure to comment in the comment section either on the video, YouTube video, or the blog post, wherever you're watching this. Then you'll want to go to Monica Monge Taylor's website on February 25th, and that website is tailormadecards for the number 4 the letter u.com/blog. That'll be on February 25th, and the comments can be made anytime between today, February 14th, through February 20th. Alright, I'm really sorry about my dogs in the background. They're telling me that it's time to eat dinner. So, anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below or shoot me an email, visit my blog, or hit me up on Facebook. Alright, take care. Life happens. I comment. Stamp me some love. Bye-bye. We'll see you in the next video.